to One to Another podcast. My name is Joanne, and today we're going to talk about the 5 enemies of perseverance. You know, for everything that's good, there's always something that tries to pull us away from following through and being persevering. So I thought we should know these. These are sort of like stop signs to take a look at, say, oh, wait a minute. This is what stops me from moving forward. Perseverance begins with the right attitude, an attitude of tenacity, a lifestyle of not giving up. If you want to walk through your challenges, you need to be consistent and persistent. A wrong belief is that life should be easy. New normal people experience the same amount of pain, discouragement, and failure during the first months of their grief as they walk through their healing of a broken heart. But they view their failures as a reason to recommit and a reminder to refocus and move forward to healing. Those who choose to stay in their pain say a relapse is evidence that they can't do it. So, a lack of resiliency. Resiliency is a significant characteristic of people who navigate the many transitions of life from birth to old age. Resilience reflects individuals who resemble a twig with a fresh green core. When twisted out of shape, such as a twig bends, but it doesn't break. Instead of it springs back and continues growing. Sort of like a palm tree. When there's a great storm, it goes way down. But when the storm is over, they have so much in their trunk system that they can move up and be stronger and better than they were before. But we must not become dry, brittle, and inflexible. We must learn to bounce back no matter how we feel. And that is a huge choice that we have to remember that I think it was Winston Churchill that says, I'm like rubber, I bounce back. Well, it is true. We have to learn how to bounce back. You can't get much done in life if you only work on the days you feel good. And that is true. And so when we understand that we can bounce back, then we have to understand that one of the enemies of perseverance is lack of vision. People who display perseverance keep a larger vision as they work through their grief. To say, I'm going to take this step and this step. I know I need to let go of some things, but my destination is to have my heart heal and not only heal, but to let go of the pain. We never, ever let go of good memories. They're with us forever. But there is a way for us to let go of pain. And so visionary statements that people say sometimes, or I hope often, when they're walking through this time of moving forward, is to say, I am alive. I will survive. I am healing. I am gentle with myself. My heart is slowly healing. I am stronger. I have the courage to grow. I'm grateful for so much. My patience will outlive my pain. So we've got to create something that we say to help us when we feel like our vision is wavering. And then excuses. It's important to learn how to eliminate them. It is easier to move from failure to healing than from excuse to healing. 99% of failure comes from people who have the habit of making excuses. Oh, I don't want to do this now. This is too hard. I just want to forget about this. We make all these excuses, and we have to find out that we have to eliminate the excuses because courage tests your perseverance. A person does not know what he is made of until he's tested. Isn't that true? If we fear the test, we'll never get an opportunity to develop our character. In order to grow, we need to face truths about ourselves, and that is often a difficult process. It usually looks something like this. The issue. Often it's said something that we don't want to hear about. That's the issue. We don't want to hear that we need to let go and say goodbye to some pain. The temptation, we want to ignore it, run from it, rationalize it, spin it, or package it. The decision, to grow, we must face the truth and make a personal change. The challenge, change is not easy. Our decision to change will be tested daily. The response, others will be slow to acknowledge it. They will wait to see if our behavior changes. The respect. Respect is always gained on difficult ground, and it comes from others only when our behavior and our words match. That's a big thing. To finally say, I am going to let go of this pain. I'm going to do a ritual to say goodbye. And in the place of pain and the ritual of goodbye, I'm going to say hello to this. And when we say hello, we know we are talking to ourselves to believe that new adventures are on the way and that we can begin to believe that there's something ahead for us that's going to give us hope and peace. So, courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Guess who said that? Winston Churchill. That's true. Sometimes we need to sit down and listen. We need to hear what other people are saying. We need to be able to listen to people who will be our mentors to say, I can give this to you as a suggestion. You may or may not want to take it, but this is what I've learned. When growing and learning in an area of weakness, and because I'm afraid of looking foolish or failing, here are some good quotes to remember that courage is fear holding on a minute longer. Isn't that true? Just 1 minute longer. That's what General George Patton said. And Karl Barth said, courage is fear that has said its prayers. How about John Wayne? Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway. And in the Bible, in 2 Corinthians 4:9, it says, we may be knocked down, but we're never knocked out. And then Eleanor Roosevelt said something. You gain strength and courage and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. I lived through this horror. I can take the next step that comes along. You must do the thing that you think you cannot do. So those are some pretty good quotes to help you move maybe from your excuses to moving forward. Questions to tackle. How often do you think you make excuses when you fail to accomplish something you set out to do? 10%, 20, or 60% of the time? If it's more than 10%, define how often you make excuses. And maybe it's time for you to list some of your excuses. And maybe train yourself to ask, what can I learn from this rather than what went wrong? What is your attitude towards life changes? Do you expect obstacles and failures? What you do if you don't succeed right away, what is it that you do? Do you give up? Do you do something else? Or do you keep working at it? What recent obstacle, failure, or setback that has stopped you can you revisit and attack again with renewed energy? What's one more step that you could take? Are you willing to develop courage by doing something uncomfortable or scary once or twice a week for 2 months? What would that be? The more action requiring courage that you take, the braver you become. Your goal is to develop a lifestyle of courage. So my question to you is, what step are you going to take to continue to be persistent and do the work that you need to do and be consistent in doing it one day after another until you release the pain and see an incredible difference in your heart? So I hope you'll do that. I hope you take one more step this week. Just remember, I'm always in your corner.